Hello, this class is going to focus on really opening up the whole body. We'll start by working our feet and our legs, the inner leg line, the back of the leg line. We'll transition into some poses to help turn on the core, and then we'll work into some standing variations to help open up the shoulders and the chest. So for today, you're definitely going to want a yoga strap, have that handy, as well as a couple blocks at your mat. And we'll get started on our back, have your strap handy. So this variation of Padangusthasana is great to do because the standing variation, you have to first overcome your balance. And then it's also very tricky in your core and your spine to support a leg extension coming out at 90 degrees. In this variation, we've taken out the balance. We're really on the ground. And the spine is also supported by the mat. So find your strap and take the middle part of the strap around the ball of the foot and extend it out. And then a little bit like a gas pedal here, just go through some work of the ankle like you're pressing the pedal with the ball of the right foot, kind of extending it up and then letting it flex back and up and back. And then the next time you come to a flexed position, stay there. And really imagine that you're reaching through your left heel towards the ceiling. At the same time, imagine the back of the right hip is pulling down, stamping the mat underneath you. You could stay with the left leg bent and the foot to the mat, or challenge yourself a little, extending the leg long. So this would be the standing variation of Padangusthasana A. You could imagine that the left foot is on the ground, so maybe even flex that foot as if that leg was standing on the ground. It can be really helpful in these variations to keep the left leg just as strong as the right. Now the Padangusthasana B variation is where we take the right leg out to the right slightly. So you're going to want to hold the strap in the right hand. Take your left hand and put the left hand on the front of the left hip to make sure that left hip stays down. And this is where we're not necessarily going to find our end range, but our mobility range. And the mobility range is where flexibility meets strength. We only want to take the right leg out to the right as far as that left hip and left glute can stay glued to the ground. So if you start to roll to the right and that left hip picks up, bring the foot back slightly. This is a nice warm up for the inner leg line as well as the back leg line. Keep both feet flexed here. And then as you return the foot back to the center, pass the strap to the left hand, same foot. And we'll go to the Padangusthasana C variation where the right foot goes over to the left. So for this one, we're going to keep the right hip down and the foot won't go too far over to the left. It might just cross your midline slightly. And now you'll feel that this is waking up the outer leg line. Keep that right foot flexed. Keep that back of your right hip pulling down into the mat. And then release the right foot back to center. You can set the strap down. And then what we'll do is in between side to side, we'll take both knees in towards the chest and just take a little rock side to side and notice the back of the hips. Hopefully the back of the right hip feels a little bit more smooth or open than the left. And then to start the left side, we'll bring both feet down to the mat first. We'll strap the left foot and we'll extend, and we'll start with that ankle work, imagining that the left foot is pressing into a pedal and then flexing. And then the next time you flex your foot, stay there. Decide if the right leg will go long. Reaching the heel up towards the ceiling, feeling the back of the left hip pulling down into the mat. Right, Padangusthasana sounds really long and complicated. It just means foot to hand pose. And you can imagine that eventually we might reach our foot. If your arms are long, you might feel like that's really accessible already. Now my right hand will come to the front of my right hip. I'll keep this right hip and glute grounded on the mat. As I come into the B variation, I'll let the left foot go to the left slightly. Just as much as I can keep this right hip down though. Both feet can stay really strong and flexed. And then back to center we go. Pass the strap over to the right hand, and we'll get ready for the C variation, where the left foot crosses the midline just slightly. We keep that left hip pulling back and down into the mat. We keep our left foot flexed. And then release the foot. You can set the strap aside and do the hug to knee to hug and rock. Now from here, we're going to come over to a fetal shape and come up. You can also rock and roll. And we're going to do a little toes pose here to wake up the bottoms of the feet. So from table pose, tuck your toes under. So this is really something we should do all the time. And one great way to practice this is maybe before bed. And when you tuck your toes on the mattress, you'll be able to go deeper, but it'll also be a little bit more gentle because you don't want the hard floor underneath you. Now play with sitting your hips back towards your heels, but you only want a good amount of sensation. You don't want it to be too painful. So you may not sit back as far as I am, and that's okay. Get to a spot where you can really relax the muscles in your feet and in your legs. And if you can't, back off slightly and find that spot. And then take a few breaths, imagining the bottom of your feet are stretching like taffy. And put your mind right in there. More than just being aware of the sensation, walk your mind's eye through the bottom of your foot, all to heel, to toe, inner edge to outer. And as you lift the hips, untuck the toes. And when the tops of the toes are pressing down into your mat, give them a little tap and we wake up the top of the feet. Now to stretch the top of the feet, we'll go back into our hero's pose and we'll do some shoulder work. Have your strap handy as you come into hero's pose. I'll put a block in between to soften the weight of gravity on my ankles and my knees. And Let's do some shoulder rolls up, back, and down. 3 in one direction and then switch. And take the hands out nice and wide with the palms facing up. Shrug your shoulders up like you're saying, I don't know. Take a nice breath in. And then as you exhale, imagine the big magnets pulling your shoulders down and towards the ground. Inhale, shrug up. Exhale. And one more time. All right, we'll release into the next stretch. Take the right arm out with the thumb down, back of hand to lower back, and let the left ear come to the left shoulder. Really focus on settling down and relaxing and breathing into the right side neck, the right side shoulder, just like we did with the bottom of our feet, putting our awareness there. And then we'll take a little bit of movement. It feels okay. You can look down and to the left and up and to the right. And stay in each for a few breaths and really test out your range and breathing into any change in sensation you feel. And then release the neck, release the arm, and we'll take it up to the left. Thumb down, back of hand to back, right ear to right shoulder. Imagining the connective tissue in our neck is that taffy, warming, lengthening, widening. And then start the movement down and to the right and up and to the left. And then release the head, release the neck. Have the strap towards the top of your mat. And we're going to come into a down dog. And we're going to do some cheetah pumps to help turn on our core. You can always keep your left knee down for that three-legged dog. So let me just give you an example of what this might look like in a modified down dog. I'll extend my right leg back, and then I bring my right knee to my right elbow. And I go back, right knee to right elbow. Still turning on my core. The down dog variation, I'll extend my right leg up. And then as I come into a hanging plank, I bring my right knee to my right elbow. So you do, let's say, 5 of those on the right side, knee down or knee up. And on your last one, step the right foot to the right thumb and you can drop the left knee down. Upright the torso and have your strap handy. We'll take the strap behind the back. Each hand is holding the strap and my hands are at about hip width distance. I'm going to start to really turn on my core here. Just support me and my lunge. My legs are doing a lot of the work. But you can almost think of like an acrobatic. The bottom person isn't doing all the work. They're doing a lot of the strength work. The upper person has to hold themselves as to not collapse on the joints of the lower body. So your outer hips are hugging in, your core is stabilizing you. And then with all that, we stay flexible and open, and the upper body, the hands might extend back as you breathe through your chest. And then release the strap down. Hands will find blocks, maybe second highest height or maybe tallest height. We'll see. We're going to tuck the back toes, the left toes, and the back knee lifts. And now this is a running lunge. Now running lunge, just like the lunge we just did, we do that same hip and core work to alleviate the stress of the joints of the lower body because they are working really hard here. So we've got our hands on the blocks, but I'm mindful not to just collapse and put all the weight in them. And then we're gonna fly our left foot coming into our standing leg split. So hopefully with our leg extension work, this feels really good. We'll extend the left leg up and back. So you see I have the blocks right underneath my shoulders. There's a nice alignment there. And my right leg is nice and strong. That outer right hip is still hugging in as I'm reaching the left foot back and reaching my heart forward, staying open in my chest while all that strength work is going on. Every time you exhale, feel your core being stabilized. Now the left foot can come down to meet the right, and we'll bend the knee so we can bow the torso with gravity and hang the head. Give it a little shake, yes and no. Knees are bent a lot here. This allows gravity to work our spine the opposite way. Instead of compressing the vertebrae together, like all the standing and the sitting that we do, in this variation, we're lengthening and putting space back into the vertebrae, right? Taxing the connective tissue in the spine in a healthy way that helps us keep our range, keep our height. But if my halfway lift is out like this, or if my forward fold is like a halfway lift, that's very taxing, right? So if I bend my knees, I can flex more and I'm with gravity. Now let's sink the hips back, bend the knees, come into a squat. As you reach your hands forward, feel your abdomen pulling away from your thighs, and then step through your heels, come to your mountain pose, reach to the sky, and then hands by your side. Let's take that interlace behind our back. You could use your strap one more time. Reach through the heart as you extend your arms back behind you. All right, practicing today strength and flexibility together. All right, release the strap, and then we'll do a little moon salutation variation with the right foot forward, coming back into our lunge as we make our way to dog or to table, wherever you started. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold in half, bow the head. Take the left foot back and the knee comes down. We'll just reach up for one breath, really press the top of the back foot down to help the knee out. Reach the heart up. And make your way to table or back to dog, wherever you did your cheetah pumps on the other side. Now the left leg is backing up. We'll do our 5 cheetah pumps where the left knee comes to the left elbow. Remember that right knee can be down if you need. And on the last one, no rush, step the right foot forward, drop the left foot forward, drop the right knee down. As you upright the torso, grab the strap, interlace, and then do that same stabilizing of the core to help support the lower body. Lift the gaze. Nice breath into the heart. And we'll release the strap and get ready for our standing leg split. Hands to blocks. Right toes tuck, right knee lifts. Feel the abdomen pulling away from that left thigh. Hands will walk forward a little bit so that as the right foot flies, I've got the hands under elbows, under shoulders. Bring my gaze slightly forward so the heart is reaching. Left leg very strong. Left hip is lifting up. Right hip is stabilizing, pulling in. Both feet are flexed. And our core is working with our breath. And the right foot can meet the left as we come into our bow. Really soften those knees so your spine can work with gravity. If the lower back is sensitive, really make sure that your focus stays to your core. Nice strong core can help you with flexion. And then we sit the hips back, reach the arms forward, feel the abdomen pulling away from the top of the thighs as you step through the heels. Feel that strong back chain of your body, reach your arms up, they come down. Now for this variation, let's take a variation on crescent moon. So I like this ragdoll variation. I'm standing way back here so you can kind of see my arms. I'm going to do opposite hand to opposite forearm up overhead. And I'm just going to notice my left arm is a little bit closer to the ceiling than my right, just how I grab it. So I know I can do the opposite one next time. And then bring your legs together, or you can hug a block if that's not comfortable for you. You really want that strong lower base in your core to be engaged before you start tick-tocking side to side. Feel the ribs melting in the body, and then when you're ready, we just lean a little bit to the left, come back to center, a little bit to the right, and go back and forth, only as much as it feels good. And if it feels good to test the range and go a little further, you can. You might notice as you lean to your right, your hips stick out to the left and vice versa, but only do that if it feels good. And then we'll come back to center, we'll release, and we'll get ready to do some sun salutation B's. We'll work the spine a little bit. We'll do our upward facing dog into our down dog. We'll do our standing poses where we work some of the arm variations we warmed up with today. So for today, I'll work with hands to blocks to make a little bit more of an easeful stepping forward from down dog. Maybe you do the same, or hands can come to mat. Find a nice, tall, strong mountain pose. And as you inhale, reach the arms high. As you exhale, forward fold. Come into your halfway lift. Lengthen the spine and the gaze forward. Keep the gaze forward as the hands come down and step the feet back to plank. As an inhale, get nice and strong. Tap the knees down slightly. Don't put all your weight there. Feel the shoulders coming away from the ears and together as you lower halfway. Tops of toes press. Feel nice, strong legs as you reach the heart forward, lengthening your neck towards the ceiling. And then we send the hips back through table, tuck the toes, and make your way to dog pose. Three more breaths in dog. And the right leg extends back and up. Come through that hanging plank, step the right foot to the right thumb, drop the left foot down on that diagonal, hug the outer hips in as you come up for your warrior one. Right, feel the stabilization. The legs and the feet are doing the grounding, big strength work. We've got supportive work here. Now let's do some work to stay nice and open in the chest. Take the arms out nice and wide. Reach your hands back and reach your heart forward like a bird flapping its wings. As we exhale, we'll round slightly and you can press the palms together in front of you. Inhale, open. Exhale, press. Inhale, open. And press. We'll take the hands down to the mat and we'll go back to our dog pose. And dog, the left leg comes back and up. Come through that hanging plank, left foot to left thumb, right leg on the diagonal, the right foot on the diagonal. My left hip hugs in. Feel my core supporting as I lift up to that warrior pose. and we'll flap our wings one more time. Expand as you inhale, press and round as you exhale. Go as slow or as fast. Maybe you're doing 5 of these, maybe you're doing 2. And then next time you press, release and go back to dog pose. Hands come down, left foot steps back. And we'll do a vinyasa. Come forward to your plank. Heart forward, shoulders away from the ears, knees tap down, we lower. Tops of feet press, reach the heart forward, lengthen the neck out of the shoulders. Send the hips back through your table, tuck your toes, dog pose. Count your 3 next breaths. On your next inhale, look forward, soften, and make your way to your halfway lift. Feet step up, hands to shins, reach your heart forward, and then bow. Really bend the knees. Go with gravity, let go of the head. Soften the hips back. Use your glute strength as you come up to stand. Reach the arms high, and back to your mountain pose. Exhale. Right back into it. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Plank pose. Lengthen and strengthen. Tap the knees down. Lower halfway. Strong legs, top of the feet press. Reach the heart. Lengthen the neck. And make your way back to dog. Right leg backing up. Same warrior 1. Step the right foot through. Create that strong lower body and stabilizing midsection as you lift up. This time we'll do a little bit of a twist. Reach the arms high. Hands to heart. Feel a nice long spine. And then twist slightly to the right. Can your gaze follow your right shoulder? Now as we untwist, can you open up into a warrior 2? Left hand sweeps back. Now our hips are a little bit more on a side angle, opposed to facing the front. And I've opened up the back foot just a little bit. Arms wide, warrior 2. Imagine you're reaching to a friend and behind you. Right forearm to right thigh, gently, not really weight bearing. Reach the left arm high. And we'll rotate the thumb away from us. And just like we did in our warm up, back of left hand to lower back, gaze over the left shoulder. Keep the back leg strong and your glutes strong as you gaze over your left shoulder. Now we'll release to the mat and find dog pose. Left leg backing up. Left foot forward, find the warrior 1. Inhale, reach the arms high. Hands to heart as you exhale. We twist left. Gaze over the left shoulder. As you come out of the twist, open up for warrior 2. The right hand reaches back, left arm forward. Glute strength, back leg strong. Right forearm rests, right hand reaches up. Then we rotate the arm, take the thumb down, and back of hand to lower back. Gaze over the right shoulder, keeping that lower body strong. And then we release. Let's find our dog pose one more time. From dog, come to your plank. Nice long neck, shoulders down and together. Tap the knees down as you lower halfway. Strong legs, upward facing dog. And then back to child's pose. You can set your blocks aside, reach the arms forward, and we'll take it into a side bend. Bring both arms over to the right side of your mat. And then both hands over to the left. Come back to center. You can push yourself up, and we'll prepare for our seated postures. Find whatever you're going to sit on. At least something to lift the hips so that when you come into your pose, you're feeling like you can be upright effortlessly. Bottoms of the feet come together and knees come out for butterfly. I'll use that glute strength to work into my external rotation. And as I do that and strengthen my legs, you'll notice that the pinky edge of your feet are pressing together and you can see the bottoms of your feet. Lift the heart, flexing only the hips. Reach the belly button towards the toes. Now, if you'd like to round the spine, you can. If not, maybe you stay as you are as you come upright. As you push the earth away, you can upright the spine and we'll extend the right leg out on the diagonal. The left leg stays in butterfly. I turn the torso towards the extended leg and I flex at the hips. I round the spine and my left hand can reach over for my right knee or my right calf or my right foot, whatever is comfortable. Strong core here to support your spine. Bow your forehead to your knee. Press the ground away to come up again, and we'll switch sides. Left leg out, right leg returns to butterfly. Turn your torso towards the extended leg. Flex first at the hips, then round the spine. Right hand can reach over, bow the head, stay strong. Knees, come on up. Extend both legs out, and we'll get ready for our seated twist. The right leg will bend. The foot comes to the mat on the other side of the left leg. My left leg will bend back towards my right hip. Find both sitting bones and a long spine before you come into the twist. To come into the twist, right hand tense behind you, left arm up and over, gaze over the right shoulder. Twist, extend the legs out, and we'll do that to the other side. Left leg bends, left foot hops over the opposite leg, right leg bends back towards the opposite hip. Find your sitting bones and that length in your spine, and then we twist left. In all these seated postures, the core is very important, so make sure that you're staying tuned into your breath and that core center engagement. And then untwist. We'll come down to our back and we're going to do a couple bridge poses, and I would like for you to have your strap. In this time of the year where the water is kind of drying up a little bit, things are starting to bloom. We're already working into that spring to summer transition, and blossoming is all about the heart and staying opening in the chest. We've been doing a little bit of that as we've been coming through this season, and this bridge pose with the strap is just a great way to keep our upper back super strong, which is needed to help us stay open. So as you come to lay down, have that strap to your side. And then once you're laying down with the legs bent, put part of the strap underneath your seat so that each hand on either side can reach it. Make sure you're not coming down on your buckle if you have one. And sometimes we grip the mat, but this is just a different variation. So you want your legs to be your arms to be long, and then walk your shoulder blades a little bit closer, and you might find yourself choking up on your strap a little bit. Lengthen your tail before you step into your feet and come up. Now remember, we really want the arms to be rooting down, all part of the arm, hand, forearm, so that the head doesn't have to take too much brunt of the pose. And then work your shoulder blades together as much or as little as feels okay. Really feel the strong muscles in the back pulling towards the spine, the erector spinae, all the muscles in the shoulders. Feel the arm muscles work to lengthen and strengthen. It's like they're rinsing out here as we're reaching the hips up. Now release and bring the arms into a goalpost shape and knee knock the legs for 5 breaths. Just notice your spine, notice your shoulder blades here as you rest. And then we'll do that one more time. Use the strap, or maybe you play with interlacing your hands underneath you. You decide. Same work. Strengthening, lengthening the arms, feeling the muscles along the spine and the shoulders, helping to open the front body as we're standing strong into our legs. And then release and find that knee knock pose one more time. That pose is a way of realigning the erector spinae muscles that go along the spine. So you might feel that they're really kind of supporting the left and the right where they might have been spreading out before, as we tend to do with like our rounding postures. The muscles of the back get locked long. And then we'll take the knees side to side in the windshield wiper way. And come back to center with the legs and take butterfly, letting the knees come out and the bottoms of the feet come together. And this one, we're very relaxed. You don't have to use your glute muscles here unless it helps to be supportive for you. And I like to rest one hand to the abdomen, one hand to the heart. And then you can really feel and connect with the senses. You can feel the blood, your heartbeat, your breath, all products of the work that you did. It's also a nice little thank you. A thank you for this vessel that maybe goes underappreciated and does a lot of work to take us through life. Okay, hopefully you have a block within reach. I do not, so I'll sit up to get one. And we'll take waterfall pose, placing it underneath the back of the hips. Think where your pockets of your pants would be. And then let the knees come in towards your chest and then dangle up towards the sky. Goalpost shape the arms. When we lift the hips in this way and lift the legs, we get a little extra pressure or grounding into the back of the upper body here. And it can be really stabilizing for our shoulders coming into our day. Just reminding our body what good posture looks like, what it's like to be open in the back of the heart as well as the front of the heart, what it feels like to have those muscles supporting our shoulder and our spine. And when we put our mind in our body like that and we really feel it, we can take a picture of it. And that's how we remember later what that muscle memory should feel like. And then eventually the feet will come down. You can set your brick aside and we'll come into final rest. It can be hard when we've got the whole day in front of us, but a few more breaths to rest the body, rest the mind. Bring some movement to the wrists and the ankles. Bend the knees and take a few more rocks. And when you're ready, make your way up to a nice tall seat. If you always sit with legs crossed one way, maybe you switch the direction just to help break the habitual and find a nice long tall spine. Hands come to heart center. Anjali Mudra with gratitude for all that we have, and together we breathe in and out. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you feel open and ready to move, ready for your day. Take care.